Today I'm going to talk to you about two different types of motor skills, and those are locomotor skills and object control skills. Now, locomotor skills, these are our skills that we use to get from A to B. So they are our traveling skills, moving from one place to another. And those skills are common across all humans on the planet. So as a species, we need to be able to get from one place to another for survival. So there are locomotor skills such as walking, running, jumping, hopping, skipping, climbing, leaping. Those skills are called phylogenetic. That means that all humans will develop them. And that's important because it means that if we get enough practice in those skills through playing and being out and running around and being with our friends, as young children, we'll develop those skills because as a human, we need them. And that means that just play alone with children, exploring how well they can move and experimenting with movement will mean that they become what we call proficient and master their locomotor skills. But they do need enough practice of those skills to do so. Now, the other type of skill I'm going to talk to you about are what we call object control skills. And they are very different because object control skills, and you might have heard of these as manipulative skills, so object control skills are things like catching, kicking, throwing, and they are culturally specific. So the object control skills where you live will be different from one country to another. For example, here in Wales, which is in the UK, we really value in our society things like kicking, throwing, catching, striking with a racket or striking with a bat. So those are our culturally specific object control skills. If you live in a different country, like the USA, your striking skills would be two-handed striking for baseball, or your throwing a ball would be throwing an American football, which is different to two-handed throwing of a rugby ball that we would have here in Wales. So depending on where you are in the world, your object control skills are going to be different. Now that is important because what we know from the research in motor development and how children learn their motor skills is that we have to teach these object control skills. And by teach, I mean those skills need to be modeled, they need the right type of equipment, and they need the right type of tasks and activities set up for children to learn them. And without that, just playing with equipment and exploring it will not develop what we call mastery or proficiency in these skills. And that is where our research showed initially a really big gap in early childhood motor development. We've seen a really big decline in children's proficiency, how well children learn these object control skills. And that's due to changes in society. So we need to make sure that children have the right opportunities with the right equipment to learn these object control skills. You might ask, why is that so important? Well, these object control skills are super important because we know that object control skills developed in early childhood, so for our youngest children, in our preschool and early years, being good at object control skills at that age will drive how active those young people become when they go into mid-childhood and later into adolescence. So being good at object control skills in your community means you're more likely to be an active, moving adolescent and take part in sport, physical activity, and general health promoting behaviours. So it's really critical that we make sure that children have these right opportunities. And that is why we developed the Mini Movers app, so that we can give you as parents the right type of activities with the right equipment so that you can make sure that you are plugging this gap in our children's development as we are seeing such a decline in these really crucial skills.